One wrong move in retirement can quietly drain your Social Security check faster than you expect. As you retire early or reach your golden years, you may be considering moving somewhere new to start the next chapter of your life. But some places are better than others. The Council for Community and Economic Research looks at the costs of healthcare, utilities, groceries, transportation, and housing to determine the cost of living index, with the national average set at 100. Based on that data, here are some states you probably don't want to live in if your only retirement income is Social Security. Number 15, New Hampshire. At first glance, New Hampshire may seem like a safe choice for retirees, especially since it doesn't tax Social Security. But the reality can feel very different once monthly bills start arriving. With a cost of living index of 109.2, everyday expenses run noticeably higher than the national average. Much of that pressure comes from some specific areas that quietly add up over time. New Hampshire has some of the highest utility costs in the country, and both housing and transportation expenses sit above the national average. For retirees relying solely on Social Security, these ongoing costs can slowly erode financial comfort, even without a state tax on benefits. Number 14, Oregon. Oregon often appeals to retirees with its natural beauty and the fact that it doesn't tax Social Security. But the financial reality can be more challenging than it appears. With a cost of living index of 111.8, living expenses are well above the national average, and two major costs tend to work directly against retirees on a fixed income. Transportation and housing are among the most expensive in the United States, making it harder for Social Security checks to stretch from month to month. While utility costs do offer some relief by coming in below the national benchmark of 100, that savings often isn't enough to offset the high price of getting around and keeping a roof over your head. Number 13, Rhode Island. Rhode Island may be small in size, but the financial impact on retirees can feel anything but small. With a cost of living index of 113.4, expenses run well above the national average, creating added pressure for anyone living solely on Social Security. Housing is one of the biggest challenges, and it plays an especially important role in determining affordability. According to real estate website Redfin, the median sale price for a home in Rhode Island is $526,500, a figure that can make homeownership unrealistic for many retirees. To make matters harder, the state also taxes Social Security, further shrinking monthly income for those already facing high housing costs. Number 12, Vermont. Vermont's picturesque landscapes and charming towns may look like a perfect retirement destination, but the numbers tell a tougher story for those living on Social Security. With a cost of living index of 113.7, the state ranks among the most expensive in the nation in several critical areas. Groceries, housing, utilities, and healthcare all come with high price tags, making it increasingly difficult for retirees on a fixed income to stretch every dollar. To add to the challenge, Vermont also taxes Social Security benefits, although there is some relief. Couples with incomes below $65,000 and individuals under $50,000 are exempt. Still, for many retirees, the combination of high everyday costs and tax benefits can turn what seems like a dream location into a financial tightrope. Number 11, Washington. Washington may seem like a haven for retirees since it doesn't tax income or Social Security benefits, but the reality of daily expenses can quickly catch you off guard. With a cost of living index of 113.9, the state is well above the national average, and certain costs hit retirees on a fixed income the hardest. Housing and groceries are particularly expensive, while healthcare costs also run above average, a key concern for anyone relying heavily on Social Security. Even with the tax advantages, the high price of everyday living can make it difficult for retirees to truly stretch their income, turning what seems like a financial perk into a potential strain. Number 10, Connecticut. Connecticut's charm and coastal scenery may be tempting for retirees, but the financial reality can be harsh for those living solely on Social Security. With a cost of living index of 114.1, everyday expenses are significantly above the national average. One important factor to keep in mind is that Social Security benefits are taxed if they exceed a certain limit, which can reduce your already limited monthly income. On top of that, Connecticut has some of the highest utility costs in the country, adding another layer of strain for retirees on a fixed budget. For anyone hoping to make their Social Security stretch, these combined expenses can turn life in Connecticut into a constant balancing act. Number 9. Maine. Maine's rugged coastline and quaint towns may seem like the perfect backdrop for retirement, but the numbers tell a more challenging story for those relying solely on Social Security. With a cost of living index of 114.2, well above the national average of 100, everyday expenses can quietly eat into your monthly income. Transportation and housing make up the largest portion of these costs, both sitting above the national benchmark, which can quickly turn even modest living plans into financial stress. While Maine doesn't tax Social Security, the high cost of getting around and keeping a home can make it difficult for retirees to truly stretch their benefits without compromise. Number 8. New Jersey. New Jersey may look attractive to retirees because it doesn't tax Social Security, but the state's high cost of living can quickly challenge anyone on a fixed income. With a cost of living index of 114.6, everyday expenses are noticeably higher than the national average, making budgeting a key concern. While the state does tax most other types of income, it does offer helpful breaks for retirees. Social Security benefits are completely exempt from state taxes, and if you're 62 or older or disabled, you may be able to exclude up to $100,000 of retirement income, including pensions or IRA withdrawals. However, this only applies if your total income falls below certain limits. Exceed those limits, and part of your retirement income may be taxed, making careful planning essential for those relying on Social Security to cover their expenses. Number 7. Maryland. Maryland might seem like a comfortable place to retire, but for those living solely on Social Security, the numbers can be daunting. With a cost of living index of 118.9, the state sits well above the national average, and much of that pressure comes from high housing costs. According to Redfin, the median sale price for a home in November was $435,300, a 0.8% increase from the previous year, making homeownership a significant financial hurdle for retirees on a fixed income. While Social Security isn't taxed in Maryland, the combination of elevated housing expenses and overall living costs can quickly stretch benefits thin, forcing careful planning to maintain a comfortable lifestyle. Number 6. New York. New York may be iconic, but for retirees depending solely on Social Security, it can feel like a financial trap. With a cost of living index of 126.6, well above the national average, everyday expenses can quickly eat into a fixed income. Housing costs are particularly brutal, ranking 5th highest in the nation, which can make even modest living arrangements a serious stretch for Social Security alone. On top of that, groceries in New York are among the 10 most expensive in the country, meaning everyday essentials come at a premium. While Social Security isn't taxed by the state, the high cost of living can turn what seems like a dream retirement into a constant juggling act with your finances. Number 5. Alaska. Alaska's breathtaking landscapes and quiet towns might seem like a perfect retirement escape, but the financial reality can be harsh for those relying solely on Social Security. With a cost of living index of 127.7, one of the highest in the nation, everyday expenses can quickly chip away at your monthly income. Healthcare costs are especially striking, ranking the highest in the country, which can become a major concern as you age and medical needs grow. While the state doesn't tax Social Security, the combination of steep living expenses and costly healthcare can turn what seems like an idyllic retirement into a serious financial challenge. Number 4. District of Columbia. Washington, D.C. might be the heart of the nation, but for retirees living on Social Security, it can feel like the heart of financial pressure. With a staggering cost of living index of 135.2, the city is among the most expensive places in the country, and housing is a major driver of that high cost. According to Redfin, the median sale price for a home in November was $700,000, far above the national median of $433,214, making homeownership a steep challenge for anyone on a fixed income. Even though Social Security isn't taxed in D.C., the sheer cost of housing and daily expenses can quickly stretch benefits thin, turning life in the nation's capital into a careful balancing act of dollars and dreams. Number 3. California. California's sunny beaches and vibrant cities might seem like the ultimate retirement dream. But for those living solely on Social Security, the reality can quickly turn stressful. With a cost of living index of 136.7, the state is one of the most expensive in the nation, and housing costs are a major factor driving that high price. For retirees on a fixed income, even modest homes or apartments can take up a huge portion of monthly benefits, leaving little room for other essentials. While Social Security isn't taxed in California, the combination of high housing costs and elevated everyday expenses can make it difficult to enjoy retirement without constantly worrying about stretching each dollar.